Sticks and stones can break his bones, but words are wounding this teen's spirit.
He's a victim of bullying on campus, and he's desperate for help. So, what is his high school doing to protect him, and what can you do for him and other victims of bullies? Bullying is a national epidemic destroying our children.
All week long on Action News and on WXYZ.com, we're going to show you how you can take a stand against the bullies and possibly save a child's life. The headline's simply horrendous. Faces of kids around the nation who will never graduate from high school, never grow old. They were forced over the edge by incessant teasing and taunting, finally making the wrong choices to end their lives.
Advocates against bullying say 10 kids in Michigan took the same tragic turn in the past 10 years. Just one is far too many.
Tonight, we're focusing on a teen trying to triumph over his personal torment. Action News reporter Anu Prakash is here now with his touching story. Anu?
Well, Joanne and Diana, we have received dozens of emails from people in our community who are worried about bullying. Parents, students, and schools. One of those emails came from the family of Tyler Mormon. Tyler says he wanted to share his story because he can no longer stay quiet about what's happening.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone at all.
Tyler Mormon knows how much words can hurt.
They make fun of me, like it hurts me because it's just degrading.
The Milford High School freshman says he's been the target of some students.
It's been very hurtful to me, and it's really torn down my self-esteem.
Who just don't like what they see.
People just will look at me and laugh, or they'll be like, hey, there's a gay kid. It makes me feel like I shouldn't be different. It makes me feels like I'm the oddball, that no one wants me anywhere, and I just feel really depressed about it.
He says it started at the beginning of the school year.
People were calling me names and being very derogatory.
But only got worse with time.
There were many days like that where I would just not want to go to school at all because of the bullying.
His darkest moment came just a few months ago.
There was actually one point where I was suicidal because of all the discrimination.
But with the help of his family and counselor, Tyler got through that.
I realized that this is something that I can stand up for myself and not just put my head down. I've gotten a lot stronger now and a lot more confident.
He's no longer afraid to go to school, but says the bullying continues.
People have pushed me in the hallways. People have thrown food. There's a lot of people at lunch just recently who have thrown fries and then tater tots. And then one kid tried to throw mashed potatoes at me.
Do you report this each time?
I went to one of my teachers about it, and because he is gay, and I thought that he would be understanding.
And was he helpful?
Yes, he was. He immediately went to the lunch teacher and he went to the kids and talked to them about it, so he was very helpful.
But Tyler hopes even more can be done to stop the bullying wherever it's happening. Telling his story is one step.
I just really hope that this gives people who are being bullied confidence.
Another is to somehow get those who bully to realize how much words can hurt.
I know there's always going to be people who have an opinion, but you shouldn't express it in a hurtful way at all. Everyone should just, before you say anything, you should think about it and think, wait, could this hurt someone? Just think about what you say before you actually say it.
Of course, we checked in with Milford High School officials. They said they could not discuss specifics about any student because of privacy rules, but Tyler's principal tells me they do have tools they use to look into these issues, including cameras on buses and assistant principals who talk to those involved. He did confirm that Tyler has reported incidents of bullying to them.
Kind of breaks your heart to see that kind of thing is going on. I feel like we have a very safe school. We have a small town atmosphere, and a lot of times when people come to visit our school, they tell me what nice kids you have. And yet, you still have things like this that occur. And anytime somebody says that something happened, we have to take it seriously. And so that's what we do.
And according to the Huron Valley School District, we're told they have already rolled out professional development training for staff, but are hoping to do more into next year. A big part of that includes workshops for parents and more help for students.
Kids also need the tools to be able to prevent bullying. They need to be able to stand up for themselves. They need to be able to walk away from a situation. They also need to be, as a bystander, be able to stand up for their peers and their friends and not walk away and let bullying happen. So we're trying to look at all of those avenues to, one, give them the tools to be able to do it and to prevent bullying, and then also to develop an environment that is supportive and nurturing so that kids can thrive.
So important to give kids the tools, you know, because another thing I know you and I were talking about, these days bullying isn't the same as it was when we were kids and whatnot, because there's cell phones and Facebook and social network sites, and it can happen 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've heard so often. We've talked to so many people working on this series, and that's what they tell me, you know, it's like there's no escaping it with Facebook and instant messaging. You know, before it's like you could go home, be with mom and dad, and things would be better, but now they feel like they can't escape it, and so students, parents, even schools, they all feel helpless to some extent.
It's just a blow all the way around. As parents, we're building self-esteem. We want the kids to feel good about themselves, and they face this in school every day. Is there help? What can be done?
Yeah, there is, because people really want to make sure that obviously no one should have to go through this, and they're in school to learn, and it's really hard to learn to keep your grades up while this is going on. So tomorrow morning on Action News at 6 a.m. we're actually going to offer expert advice on dealing with cyberbullying, and there is also so much help out there for Tyler and other teens and their families who are struggling to fight bullying. Make sure you log on to WXYZ.com, because I'm adding some resources on our homepage that will help you. You can also leave comments there and on our Facebook and Twitter sites, and tune in tomorrow on Action News at 5. We'll take you inside some schools, and we're going to show you what steps they are taking to fight this epidemic, steps that may work at your school as well. Also, principals and teachers will tell you what tools they feel are effective in fighting this battle. Again, that's tomorrow on Action News at 5.
It's a good thing that we're focusing on this week. Thank you for your report.
Sure. And tomorrow night at 6 in Southgate, we want to let you know there's a 2-hour training session on bullying prevention and intervention. It's being held at the Guidance Center. There's a $25 charge. You will also find details on that at WXYZ.com inside a news story right there on our homepage.